Hi guys, so it is Saturday morning and last night we just got back from Ile de Ré and now I need to put together this dinner party for 16. So this is a combination of friends and family that we're having for dinner, all of whom have been vaccinated, so that's sort of the one thing we've been really strict about here. We're vaccinated, but our little daughter is not, so we want to make sure that everybody is safe. And then just to be extra careful, we're having everybody outside. So one of my secrets about having a lot of people for dinner last minute is to do things semi-homemade. So that means I'm gonna make some things, and some things I already bought. And I'm telling you, here in France, they make that really easy. So when I don't have time to head to the big outdoor market, I go to this little place, which is the next best thing. It's a co-op of growers in the region. You get the best produce, the best vegetables, there's plenty of parking, and I can just run in and out. I have my little assistant helping me with the shopping. We've loaded up our cart, put our baskets in the car, and got it done in 45 minutes or less. And just next door is a fabulous bakery for bread and dessert. Okay, so back from the market, let me show you what I got that's gonna make this party 10 times easier. First of all, store-bought desserts. Here in France, you can find the most amazing desserts that are beautiful and delicious and will save you a ton of time. So here's what I got. I got 2 strawberry tarts. Look how gorgeous. It's a strawberry tart with whipped cream, and then you can see the cute little chocolate medallion the bakeries will put in the center. So that way your guests, if they're enjoying it, they'll know where it came from. So we are gonna pop these in the fridge. So one of the things we realized having all of these people come for dinner is that we did need an American style fridge in our laundry room because there's just no place to put all the platters and the big dessert boxes when you're having a dinner for 16. Here it is in all its glory. It's a tight squeeze, but I tell ya, it does the trick. And of course, all of our French friends and family, ooh, there's our laundry, lots of towels. All of our friends and family laughed that we had to break down and get the American fridge. But hey, if we want them all for dinner, that's what we gotta do. Okay, so I'm gonna put my little box in there. You can see it's pretty big, so I'm gonna be able to put all my platters here. I've got water chilling here. I saved these old French lemonade bottles because they make for great water carafes that I'm gonna put on the table. And then we have 2 crisper drawers, and this is one of my favorite things, a drawer that pulls out that we can put party platters here. So I'm probably gonna put my cheese trays in there. It is a beautiful day today, which is fantastic because we're gonna be able to have everybody outside. We have also opened the pool, so if people wanna go swimming, they can do that. We've got our lounge chairs out. The grass has finally settled and we can put those out there. We couldn't walk on the grass for a couple of weeks, but now it's looking really great. And we just had it cut yesterday and the tree is looking so good. Okay, let's get back into the kitchen because now I want to show you what I actually bought at the market that's going to make this so easy. Okay, here we go. This video is going to be real vlog style because I am moving at a clip right now to get it all done. My husband has taken the girls and our house guests to the beach, so I have a few hours to prep. So to make the barbecuing even easier, my husband went to the butcher today that we have here in town and just picked up a bunch of brochettes. Now I do have a video on this channel that will show you how to make something very similar. So if you wanted to do this style party at home, I will link to that video below. But here's what it is. And my biggest tip is when you buy something pre-made like this, put it in a casserole. So I'm gonna put them in here. That way, when it comes time to grill, I'm not like unpackaging all of this. I just take this casserole out to the barbecue. All right, let me show you what it is. Okay, these look great. But see, they look beautiful, perfect for entertaining. You have a piece of lemon here, the chicken, a slice of zucchini. So you've got a few vegetables. And then when the lemon gets all warm and barbecued, it's really great to squeeze onto the chicken. So if you end up renting the house and staying here, the butcher is a great move when you want to entertain, but you don't have a lot of time. They just need 24 hours to put together this type of quantity. So we got 20 because there's always men who like to have 2. Then the other thing that I think is important to think through is, what am I gonna do with this chicken after it's grilled and done? Because here in France, we have a first course. So as people are eating the first course and the chicken is being cooked, that doesn't really work. So what I thought I would do is before serving the first course, grill the chicken, then put it on this thing, which I'm gonna keep in my oven so it's all ready to go, and then keep them warm at a 200-degree Fahrenheit oven. That way, everybody can sit down, enjoy the first course, and the chicken will just be kept warm. The thing that I really love about the design of this kitchen is the fact that when you come out here, you've got the service alley, is what I like to call it. So you can head out the kitchen door and the barbecue is just there. Or if you need to get to the fridge, you just come down here and you've got the fridge there. So constantly during parties, I'm going from the fridge to the kitchen to the barbecue and back. So it seems to work out really well. Okay, one thing ready to go. Main course taken care of. Check. Well, that was easy. Main course took about 3 minutes. Okay, now when it comes to the things that I'm gonna make from scratch, I always like to begin with the most tedious thing first and then work my way towards the easiest thing. That way, as the afternoon wears on and I get more tired, things get easier. So for the side dish, I'm gonna be serving a really simple potato salad with these delicious local potatoes. So they come from a place called Noirmoutier, which is a little island not very far from here. It's a cute place to visit, but they're also really known for their potatoes. So you'll see that everywhere here. And I had to get a few bags because we have so many people. And it's the only side dish I'm gonna serve. So let's see, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Which, I know this looks like a lot of potatoes, but I have 5 young men coming, all in their 20s. And one thing I have learned about these young men is, boy, can they eat. So I wanna be prepared. I've got my huge pot of water here, which is what it's gonna take to boil all these potatoes. It sort of looks like a witch's cauldron. But I use this pot when we're making like langoustines, they look like little crayfish, for a crowd, or when I make huge batches of this potato salad. So it's kind of a twist on an American potato salad, but it seems to go over very well here with the French. So I do make it every summer. One thing though that I have learned is that the French really like their potatoes peeled. Now the American in me would just cook them just like this with the skin on, chop them and call it a day. But then there's always a few comments about that. So, and then it turns into a whole big discussion. So at this point I've given up and I just peel the potatoes. This is why I start with this recipe first, because there's no way I'm gonna be up for peeling all these potatoes come 4 o'clock. I probably would just throw them all in the water. Okay, here I go, 5 kilos of potatoes peeling. Okay, done. And it only took me about 35 minutes, not so bad. Okay, I am going to put this on high and let them boil away. Okay, now for the entree. Cooked beets with a vinaigrette is a really popular first course here in France, especially in the summertime. And one of the things I love is in France, you can always find cooked beets. It is such a time saver, since it could take up to an hour to cook this many beets. Look at this. And I got them already cooked. Because they're so well cooked, I can just peel them with my hands like this. So unfortunately, I don't have any gloves with me to do this task, so my hands are getting totally stained. Oh no. I have never seen beets stained this badly. These must be really high quality beets. Look at my hands. Oh my gosh. This brings new meaning to the word caught red-handed. At least it'll be a conversation piece. Now, in addition to the gloves, it also helps to use a plastic cutting board. Normally I prefer wood, but it would totally stain a wood cutting board. So at least I had the sense to use the plastic. So I prepped the beets into little diced cubes in these low serving bowls. That way everybody can just spoon in a little bit, because I have a couple of entrees that I am going to serve, and then that way they don't get too full on any one thing if you keep the cubes nice and small. Okay, beets are going in. All right, we got the beets, we got the chicken. Next, the dressing for the beets. This way it's all ready to go, and all I have to do is drizzle it on top. I'm gonna start with about a tablespoon of my favorite Amara mustard, and it goes. Then I'm also gonna add a little splash of balsamic vinegar, just in there. I think beets are really great when they have a little bit of something sweet on top, because they can really go sweet or savory, but especially in the summertime, I love to take them to the sweet direction. Then I'm also gonna use some grapefruit juice, just to add a little bit more acid, but also some freshness and sweetness. Maybe about a half a grapefruit. Okay, then you can just stir that up like that. And at this point, I do like to taste it just to see if I like where it's headed. Oh, that's really good. The grapefruit gives it such a delicious summery flavor. I think I actually want more grapefruit. Maybe I'm gonna add the whole thing. There. Then I'm gonna add a little bit of grapeseed oil to the mix. I like the grapeseed oil because it will not change the flavor of whatever your base is. I think if you add olive oil, it's too heavy and it also is pretty flavorful that I find it really changes the flavor of a dressing. So I like something non-flavored like grapeseed oil. Now, the more grapeseed oil we're gonna add, the thicker this dressing is gonna be. So I just really eyeball it. I keep going until it's as thick as I want it. But I'll give you measurements in the description. Then we're just gonna add a little bit of salt and pepper, just to taste. And that's all you have to do. I really like to prep things when I'm entertaining in these clear glass containers. That way, when you're rummaging through your fridge, trying to find things, you can see what's in it. Okay, I'm gonna pop this in my little fridge here. Then the other thing I wanna have prepped are my shallots. So I'm gonna dress the beets with dressing, shallots, and some fresh mint. I think it's a really great combination of flavors. And by having the shallots already cut and in my little container, it'll just save a lot of time and stress when I'm actually ready to serve it. I'm a big fan of planning all ahead. There, we just need a few. So I'm gonna pop these in the fridge. And my other tip is keep like-minded things together. So I've got my dressing, I've got my shallots, one on top of the other in the fridge. So when I'm looking for both, they're both together. Then, in addition to the beets, I'm also gonna be serving a gazpacho soup because it's been pretty hot here the last few days, which has been so welcomed after all of our rain. But I thought it would be another refreshing thing that I could serve with the beets that I could put together really quickly. Because that little farm market that I went shopping to today also makes their own jams and jellies. I go there so often, I have one of their frequent shopper cards, and when you fill it all up, you get free gifts. So this month you can get either their pure apple juice, which is fantastic, or jams. Look at this, white nectarine, how delicious. So I am just gonna cheat a little bit and use their artisan gazpacho soup right from the bottle. So when it comes time to serve, I got about 5 of these bottles. This is what I'm gonna do. Now, if you wanna make your own gazpacho, I have a couple of great recipes I'll leave for you below. But if you can get it store-bought, it will save you some time. And then I'm just gonna show you how to garnish it to make it look kind of semi-homemade. So I'm gonna use these little dishes because I think they're pretty that you can see through them, and I like things that are footed, so that looks pretty good to me. So I've got some diced cucumber, that will go in there. And then one of the things I love about France are the beautiful radishes you can get this time of year. Look at these, aren't these gorgeous? These are called the French breakfast radish, and I like them because they're long and slender and they're really easy to dice. So we're gonna add some of these, there we go, which will give the gazpacho a nice little kick because of their spiciness. And then to just finish it off, I'm gonna add some dill like that. And then the other thing I like to do is add some freshly cracked pepper. There. Now you might be wondering how I'm gonna go through 16 of these while people are waiting. And that's where my daughters come in. They really love this whole cooking and entertaining thing. And anytime they can get into like an assembly line of garnishing, something that's super easy like this, that they can't go wrong, they are all for. So they're gonna be my little assistants helping me garnish all of these when the time comes. Beautiful gazpacho soup. Looks like I've been slaving all day long. But really, I just opened a bottle. And then I also prepped a few of those smoked salmon appetizers to also have on the table. The ones that you saw me make in the French market video. So if you missed that recipe, I'll link to it here and you can get caught up. Okay, the potatoes are cooked and cooled, and now it's time to prep them. You don't have to do much to these, just a few little ingredients is all we're gonna use. But here we go again with the tedious part. So we are going to dice these. And I like to dice them after they're cooked because again, I find that they just hold their shape a bit better, but this will certainly be quicker than peeling them all. Let's see, how am I doing on time? It is 3:30, okay? I've got people coming at 7:30. That's okay, I feel like we're in good shape. I still have to set the table and get all of the appetizers ready, but most of those are store-bought. Take a shower, do a few simple flower arrangements, get the candles ready. I think I'll be working right up to 7:30. Luckily, everybody's home now playing in the pool, so I will have some helpers when I want them. Don't want them yet. Given that time is ticking, I am going to start to multitask now a little bit. Now, because I also have to get my shallots caramelizing. So I'm gonna put these caramelized shallots on top of my potato salad, which is not only really delicious, but also looks really pretty too, but they do take a little bit of time. So I'm thinking while I'm slicing all these potatoes, they could be here caramelizing away, right? 2 tasks for 1. So I'm probably gonna have to do these in batches just because you don't wanna overcrowd the pan, otherwise they won't caramelize very well. I also recommend a non-stick pan, something like this. And then we're going to put our first batch of shallots in there. And then I'm gonna add a little salt and pepper. Once these get nice and caramelized, then we're gonna add a little balsamic vinegar just to sweeten them up. Back to the potato cutting. This is fine because now I have my shallots here, I've got my potatoes, and I'm getting 2 things done at once. This is how it really all gets done, to be honest. So I have cut all my potatoes, here they are in this ginormous bowl. So watch how easy this is. This is like the easiest trick in the book. I'm making a Dijon Tarragon potato salad, right? So in the States, I would do the mayonnaise and then I would do the mustard, but here in France, you can get it all in one. So I love this stuff. This is my new favorite friend. It is the Apero Mayonnaise Dijon. So all I have to do is open this jar. And then for this quantity, I kind of just eyeball it. I will give you the recipe that serves 8. And if you need to serve 16, you can then just double it. But probably I start with like 3 to 4 good dollops because you don't want it too dry. Stir that up first. Let's see. And you really want to make sure that these potatoes are cooled because if they're not, they'll start to absorb that mayonnaise in a way that will then make your salad a bit dry because you won't have any more dressing. It'll sort of all go into the potato. And I'm also going to add some salt and some pepper. And then the finishing touch is some of this beautiful, fresh tarragon. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? The French cook with a lot of tarragon, so you get really great quality tarragon here. We don't cook that much with it in the States, and sometimes it's even hard to find. And I think that's because we just don't buy it a lot. I haven't had it. It has almost like a licorice-y flavor to it, which might sound strange, but it pairs really well with Dijon mustard. In fact, I have a recipe on the channel for some Dijon tarragon chicken that's really good, and it comes together in 15 minutes or less. So I will be sure to leave that below. And because we have so many potatoes here, I am adding a good amount of tarragon. So this might even be like a half a cup here going in. The seagulls are at it again. I feel like I don't even need music for this party because they bring their own ambiance. Okay, so let me show you how I'm going to plate this up. I am still working on collecting our serving pieces for this house, and I don't really have too many. I'm sort of running out now, but I do have one more of these bowls left. So I am going to use these. These were fantastic. I actually got these at IKEA, believe it or not. I think I need a few more. So I have one of these, and then anytime I'm mismatching serving pieces, I usually take one as the centerpiece. So I'll put this in the middle of the table, and then I'll take these 2 smaller ones. They're actually oversized soup bowls, but I think they would work. And then I put them on either side like that. I find when you have a lot of people down the table, it's better to have more serving pieces because sometimes I find people will serve themselves and then they don't pass the dish. And so the poor people at the end are left sort of like, ooh, what's down there? This way I like to have at least one of the same thing for every, I don't know, 4 to 6 people, because it's a lot easier to pass among 6 people than to take a dish and pass it all the way down to guest number 16 if you're guest number 1. So that's my philosophy. Then I'm gonna take these gorgeous shallots that are all caramelized. See how yummy? And we are going to put those on top of the potatoes. So I usually do that with 2 forks and just kind of spread them around. This is kind of the best part, so don't be chintzy. There, and then I'll put a little garnish on top. Voila! All right, things are filling up, but here goes the potato salad. All ready. Okay, now let's talk about the French apero. The apero is the aperitif, or the French cocktail hour. And most of the things in that can be store-bought. I like to do a combination of starchy things, fresh things, spreadable things. Also something called a Gateau Aperitif. And a Gateau Aperitif can look like many different things. And in fact, today I was able to buy one at our local bakery. This is a baguette that's covered in cheese and has been stuffed with a certain type of tapenade. I think it looks like a tomato tapenade. So I'm just going to reheat this moments before people arrive, and it'll be super delicious. However, if you cannot get this at your local bakery, I wanted to share a recipe with you for a fabulous Gateau Aperitif that uses basic ingredients that you can make in your own kitchen. And you'll have a taste of France, okay? You can use any type of mix-ins you like. The cake base is basically the same. So I will leave you a few flavor combinations in the description if you want to switch them up, but mine is going to be goat cheese and dill, which I think is a really great flavor combination for summer. Okay, you're going to add 3 eggs into a medium-sized bowl. You're also going to add a half a cup of milk and a half a cup of just plain vegetable oil. And then you just whisk this up. I think Americans don't think of little cakes as like cocktail food, but a savory cake is really delicious with anything bubbly. And then I have a 1.25 cups of all-purpose flour. I'm gonna add 1 packet of baking powder. So this is how it comes in France, which is kind of funny. It comes in these little packets, like as opposed to the tins that we have in the US where we measure out. So I will measure this and I will let you know how much it is, but I think it's about 2 teaspoons, if I had to guess. Everything will be in the description. And then I'm also gonna add a teaspoon of salt here. So, which seems pretty salty, but again, we want this to have a real savory flavor to it. I've tried it with 1/2 teaspoon and I've tried it with a full teaspoon. It's much better with a full teaspoon. So in it goes. So you get the benefit of all of my trial and errors. Okay, there. Then you're just gonna put the flour into this egg milk mixture. Once it's nice and smooth, then you can add your mix-ins. So I'm gonna use about 1/3 cup of goat cheese. That I'm going to crumble by hand just because I couldn't get it here crumbled. The quality of this goat cheese is so fantastic. Oh my gosh, this looks so delicious. And then I'm also gonna add about 2 tablespoons of fresh dill. In that goes. And a little freshly cracked pepper. But if you wanted a little bit of a kick, you could also add 1/8 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. That would also be pretty good. Okay, look, it's all ready to get mixed up. How easy was that? You're just going to gently stir everything together. Then I'm just going to pop it in my greased tin here. Do make sure you grease it. And even if it's nonstick, I always grease nonstick. But I'm gonna bake this at 350 for about 20 to 25 minutes. And it goes. Okay, I think the cake is ready. Let's take a look, shall we? Yummy, look at that. Can you see? See, it's all golden brown and puffed up. I'm gonna let this cool, jump in the shower, get ready, and then we'll set the table and get ready for drinks. Okay, I am all cleaned up, and now I am trying to seize control of the backyard because all of the pool revelers have now vacated the pool and now they're in the shower. So quick, let's set the table. So one thing that I have learned over the years is that you cannot fight the Apero. And basically what that means is, as much as I would love to set that table with a gorgeous setting with flowers and candles, put all the plates down and the glasses, that's not the way it's gonna go down. And here's why. Because everybody's gonna wanna sit there with their drinks and snacks for at least 2 hours. Then the table needs to be set. So I don't know, I've gone back and forth on this because if I set the table, it'll become a big mess by the time dinner is ready. So I'm gonna try it differently this year. Basically, here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna set this table with all of the Apero snacks. And then when it is time for dinner, lots of little helpers are going to come help me set this table. That's the nice thing about my French family and our friends is they're always willing to help, and the kids love to help too. So I'm getting all the glasses ready, I'm getting all the placemats, I've got my trivets, my napkins. In fact, I'm gonna get these other trivets. I love these, look at these. These are these really fabulous nautical rope trivets that I found at the Sailors Co-op. Aren't those awesome? So I'll grab those, and then, let's see. When it comes time from the silverware, it's all in here and they can just get it. So I'm gonna try that this time. We'll see how that goes. Then I'm gonna use these little citronella candles because now that the good weather has come, so have the mosquitoes. They have arrived. So I think we're gonna need at least 4 of those down the table. Then I'm gonna put these little candles with the hurricane globes down for a little bit of ambiance, right? So we got our functional candles, keep away the mosquitoes. And then we have our pretty candles for a little decor. There we go. Now it's kind of bugging me that that pool is looking messy, but my husband promises he's gonna come clean it up. So we will just leave that there and we will concentrate right here. Okay, now I have taken this cutting board out because I'm gonna put the glasses on there just so they don't scratch the table because I don't have a tray yet. So we are going to come in here as planned and get our glasses. Let's see, what is everybody gonna drink? If I was to guess, I would say we're gonna get a couple of these champagne glasses. We are either gonna fill those with just some Cremant, some sparkling wine. I'm gonna get the cassis because sometimes the ladies like to put a little cassis in their champagne glass. I'm going to definitely get out the Ricard here. This is a very popular drink here in the summertime, and you serve it typically on ice with water. So So that means I'm gonna need one of these little carafes. I think I'm probably gonna take the 2 glass ones. There we go. We'll take some wine glasses because we definitely will have people who might like rosé. There we go. And for the Ricard, we are going to have these long, tall glasses because the idea is you fill it up to here about with the alcohol and then you allow people to put their own amount of water. It's kind of like putting cream in your coffee. Everybody has the amount of water they like best. So I never serve someone a Ricard with the water already poured. I give them the drink and then the water on the side and they do it themselves. And then for the kids, we'll do a little bit of this framboise syrup because a fun drink in France is to serve this with a little bit of the French sparkling lemonade, which isn't really like lemonade. It's more like a Sprite, to be honest. But that would be called a Diablo, and we will serve those for the kids. I'll take out some of these cocktail napkins. Well, I think that's a good start. Okay, now let's talk about the snacks we're gonna put out. I have a selection of saucisson sec that I'm gonna put out, some chorizo, some spicy ones, some traditional. And my husband always says it's best to slice a few because it always looks so much more inviting that way. Now for the store-bought snacks. This is what makes this really easy. So I have my little appetizer dishes here. And then I just love these little cheesy snacks that you get in the grocery store. They are so delicious. These are almost like little sablé cookies. They're crunchy and cheesy. So good. I'm also gonna serve some of these delicious little crackers here. And those are always good. I'm also gonna put some of these radishes out that we had from the Gazpacho garnish because radishes, especially in the summer, especially tonight because it's really hot, are very refreshing. So we're gonna put some of those out and they look so pretty too. And then maybe some nuts. Now, I know this looks like a lot of food and snacks, but this will go on for 2 hours. And I just want to make sure that people are not like starving. And we are 16, so we're gonna really load everybody up here. There, so we've got all of our store-bought snacks. We can put these out. Let's put these on the table. Our table is coming together. So I like to just sort of sprinkle these around, knowing there's gonna be a lot of activity here for drinks. We don't wanna crowd it. And we'll put the radishes down here. So I have something starchy on that end, something fresh here, and then we'll do another sort of salty, starchy thing there. And then I don't have any flowers growing on this property right now. So I am just gonna be using greenery from our garden. So I've got some laurel leaves, some grape leaves, and I have just put them in little vases because that's all I got. And sometimes you just need a little greenery to show a little bit of life. I think that does wonders to a table. Okay, this is our Gateau Apero. This is what it looks like on the inside. See how delicious? It's really moist and springy, filled with goat cheese and dill. Now these would be pretty big portions, so I'm gonna actually cut this into cubes and pop them on a plate. So there we go. I think I'm all set. Our guests will be here any minute, and I really want to make sure that I take the time to visit with them. So I'm probably going to sign off. If I can get a shot at the end with everybody at the table and the lights twinkling, I'll definitely do that. Everything went off without a hitch. The soup was a hit. The salmon was totally refreshing. Everybody enjoyed the beets. And even those citronella candles completely worked. They kept away the mosquitoes, and they looked so pretty too. And the best part was, because it was all prepped in advance, I got to sit there at the table and enjoy it all. And as the night wore on and the lights came up, it was so much fun sitting at that table under the pergola with those twinkling lights. Even the weeping willow tree was lit and it looked beautiful. This was the exact kind of evening that my husband and I always hoped for when we started out on this French house project. In fact, we had such a good time, they all came back the next day for the leftovers. We added a few things to the buffet, set that table back up, and they all came back over, and we did it all over again. So much fun. Next week, we'll head to the French Brocante for some fabulous finds. I'm a woman on a mission.